I now want to talk to you about Smilemate, with a caveat of that my son is the CEO of Smilemate. So you might want to read that into some of the enthusiasm I've got for this. But really, Smilemate is about capturing leads and driving new patient inquiry to your practice. So it gets a bit complicated, but Smilemate's an app that sits on the patient's smartphone and on a dashboard on your computer or your smartphone. When you want to access patients as a specialist orthodontist, there are three ways you can do that. One is by your general dentist referring patients to you. Now, I understand from what I've been told that the majority of the audience are not specialist orthodontists in today's presentation. So I'm not going to dwell much on this orthodontic side, but effectively what it does, it allows me to partner with general dentists in my community who want to do Invisalign, but don't have the confidence to do it and manage it themselves. So we have a partnership where they do the clinical things within the practice for their patients, and I use Smilemate and dental monitoring to actually set the ClinCheck up, which is a really critical part of the process, do the assessment, the dental monitoring analysis, and instruct patients, instruct dentists on what services need to be done. So I am the virtual orthodontist and the dentist is the real orthodontist, and they look after their patients. But as I said, I won't go beyond that. Clearly, in a dental practice, it varies by country, but a lot of places you can do online marketing, which then allows you to drive inquiry to your website, and then patients can then enter through the Smilemate portal. And the other source of patients are the existing patients of your practice, and that's that NPS, trying to have a high net promoter score and try and get raving fans and get existing patients to refer patients to you. As I said, in my practice, about 50% of our patients come from that referral path, which is fantastic. I'd love it to be a lot more because it's a very inexpensive way to generate a new patient lead. So in your general dental patients, I'm sure you're all over this, and there's a whole lot of methodologies and software and programs you can use to enhance that part of your process. But at the end of the day, there's only three ways to get a patient. You're either going to get it from a general dental referral if you're an orthodontist, or you're going to get it from online marketing or from patient referrals. Smilemate is a multi-step process. So for all that traffic from those three sources, the patient gets driven to your website. And the first thing they see is that they can get a free virtual consultation. There's a little button on your website with a little bit of a spiel that says, yeah, just click on here and load up a few photos and we can provide you with some free source of information about what your problems are and what treatment options may be available to you. The patient takes photos on their smartphone. It leads them through the process, so it's very simple to do that. A screening report then appears on your dashboard within 5 to 7 minutes. And so that screening report becomes the foundation for you to communicate with your patients. And once that report is seen by you, you can share it with the patient if you choose to do it. So these patients can be scanned in your practice to share the report, or they can be done virtually and you can share the report online. The fifth step is the patient can then go, well, look, I want to come and see you. Now I can see that you're the doctor, the dentist that I want to come and see. I understand what can be done, so I'm going to make an appointment. So they can make an appointment online, and so that's why a third of our patients are coming in outside of ours. And then you've started the process. So you've gone out into the virtual world, you've grabbed a patient and you've engaged with that patient, you've led them through this process, and then eventually they arrive at your practice as a converted patient, not a newbie, not someone that you have to spend a whole lot of time on, because that's already happened in the background. And in my practice, that happens with my team, my consultants that do that, the clinical or non-clinical staff in my case, but they're fairly knowledgeable. I've got general dental colleagues that do the same thing with staff, but some of them do it themselves because the value of a lead for them can be quite significant with complex mouths, full mouth rehabilitation, implants and so on. One of the complaints I hear about Smilemate is, but patients can't take good photographs. As a general rule, that is true. They don't, but it doesn't matter. This whole process is not about the first contact and creating a detailed diagnosis and treatment plan. You can't do that from a telephone photograph. The whole thing is about lead capture. And once you get them into the virtual appointment, then you can actually get better quality photographs, even though you're in the virtual world. So through Smilemate, you can do video conferencing. So that's the next level down once you've engaged with them. So here I am with one of my staff doing a virtual consultation. So you can see my image down on the lower left quadrant of the screen. And all you do is you lead the patient through the various photographs that you want, and you just do screenshots. So Courtney, just put your 2 fingers in on either side, retract your lips, and as soon as you see a good photo, you just screenshot it. Courtney, just tip your head down a bit, pull those fingers back a bit further, screenshot. And open wide, just tip your head down a bit further, screenshot. And when you do that, you can then take those photographs and I'll show you what happens with those photographs later on. I think it pops up in my presentation. But you get these, from that data, you get this AI, this artificial intelligence comes back with a dental health report. Now remember, this is not an all-encompassing thing. It's a lead generation thing. So it talks on oral hygiene. It is good at identifying big things like gingivitis, plaque and so on. Gingival recession, which is a really critical one, both from a periodontal health, but also from active orthodontic tooth movement. It's something that occurs. You need to know about it at a pixel level, not when you've lost 3 millimeters of ginger. It reports on retained deciduous teeth, peg-shaped teeth, tooth wear, which is a really big thing for most people, fractured teeth, the need for whitening. All these things are things that you can sort of sell as a dentist. It goes quite in depth into the orthodontic side, so it tries to pick up molar class, cuspid class, overbite, open bites, overjets, cross bites, crowding and spacing. So all these things it reports on and creates a dental health report. It uses a stoplight system where green is healthy, orange is moderately unhealthy, and red is dangerously unhealthy. And it reports on about 20 things that I just mentioned before. You can easily view the photographs, and the thing that's amazing now is how good photographs are when you take them on a smartphone. So once you get in and can do some screenshots, you can get some really high quality photographs, and you can access all those different photographs at the bottom of that image. And it allows you to then, you or your staff, to discuss any of the items that are identified. And so you can say lower crowding, for example, what is it and why should it be addressed? That's all in the software, but you can also use it to define it and put your own text in. So with this report, you can select or deselect any of the observations that you want to discuss with the patient. You can select or deselect additional solutions. So you might add in, you've got Zoom whitening, for example, you can just write in about Zoom whitening. So when it comes up as a need for tooth whitening, it'll actually report on Zoom whitening for you. You can print that file and stick it in the patient chart or scan it into the patient chart, or you can email that report to the patient. So you get this sort of outcome with this sort of reporting on, say, tooth alignment, identifying the level of alignment, what the problem is. And here it's saying, look, the alignment is sort of fits into the category of where it can be treated by a general dentist for an aesthetic outcome, but some of the things like molar class, or in this case, lower crowding, are so severe that if you want a more ideal result, then it's best referred to a specialist. 80% of the patients that we see through the virtual monitoring, where I'm working using this software with the general dentist, 80% of the patients are treated in the general dental office. About 20% of them get referred out to me. That's a nice mix. It's great for my practice because I get 20% of the referrals. It's great for the general dental practice because they're doing 80% of it. And the thing is, they're not getting themselves into trouble. As I say to the dentist, that 20%, they're the ones that are going to really hurt you they're the ones that have got significant problems that if you manage them yourself in-house, they can come back and bite you. They can tend to be medico-legal problems, patient complaint problems to the dental board, the registration boards, long treatments to become unprofitable. So that 20% are the ones you do want to refer out of the practice. So as I say, you can identify what you want to address, and you can, in this situation, this particular doctor wants to talk about both braces and aligners. So you can see on the top right-hand part of that screen, you can click on both, and then you can put your own text or the generic text in there. So just in summary with the Smilemate, one of the complaints I hear, there's two things. The patient can't take good photos. Who cares? It's a lead generation thing. It starts the discussion. You get them into that virtual consultation, and then you can take good photos for them. The other thing is, how can you diagnose things like dental decay? You can't see all the teeth. Into proximal dental decay, you're not taking x-rays. You can't, I know I'm sort of restating it. It's a lead generation tool. It's an engagement tool. We don't say you can get a full dental diagnosis. That's not the idea. The idea is to be able to start the discussion with the patient. Doctors who are using this, not just in orthodontics, but in complex general dentistry, are getting amazing outcomes with very high conversion rates of patients that need their services, rather than having them come into the practice to start that relationship building and diagnostic process.